Welcome to Crown Hill Cemetery in Indianapolis. And as you saw by the sign, we're heading over here to the gravesite of President Benjamin Harrison. He was the first president to be sandwiched, if you will, by another president, Grover Cleveland, who had a term before and a term after Benjamin Harrison. At the time of this recording, of course, Joe Biden is now going to be the second individual. Very big cemetery, some famous people buried in here. There's 3 vice presidents that I will be visiting shortly. And also John Dillinger is buried in this cemetery. Actually, I'll show you right before we even take a look at this. Well, let's do it this way. Take a look at this burial site. I don't know who that is, the family, whatever. But that's how that particular tomb, that particular crypt is set up. And even right here, looking out, you can see some maybe a little more ornate than others. And even though the president's burial site is going to be what it is, right next to him is this Tarkington Jameson family. So turning over, here we have burial site, and it actually says on here Mary Lord Harrison, who was his second wife, and the markings are terrible, unfortunately. It lists that she was born April 30th, 1853, or 1858. I'm sorry, 1858. And then January 5th, 1948 was her passing. They married in April 6th or April 1896. Unfortunately, it's a very bad the names of everything is faded. Okay. All right, let's back this up here. Benjamin Harrison, August 20th, 1833, March 13th to 1901 was his dates. Lawyer and publicist, Colonel, 70th Regiment, Indiana. So he definitely served in the Civil War, mostly the duration of it. Was he appointed as a U.S. Senator in 1881 to 1887 and became president 1889 to 1893. Statesman, yet friend to truth of soul, sincere, in action faithful, and in honor clear. All right, so name down here. For all I know, with the way this is set up, could be. Oh, it's possible it's over here. I'm going to take a look at this shortly and see who's there. Things are better for his first wife as far as the clarity of the wording. She unfortunately died in the White House 5 days after anniversary, unfortunately. So they were married 39 years, and they basically believe it was tuberculosis. Let me see, as I look at these graves, perhaps I can tell who is who. Okay, so this is the actual. I'm gonna assume he's actually buried right here, Benjamin Harrison. If you see the names. That's his second wife. And Caroline was the first lady. Now, and the last one here is Russell B. Harrison. Now, clearly I wasn't alive and didn't experience this family. It's all, obviously in a sense relatively personal stuff. However, Mary Lord Harrison was technically a niece blood relative of Caroline Scott Harrison, the first lady, first wife of Benjamin Harrison. And she was a much younger lady and basically assisted Caroline in the White House, especially as Caroline started to get sick. Family member who came and visited a lot, and she did live in New York. After Caroline passed away and Benjamin Harrison lost his bid for re-election, which possibly was a relief at that point, Benjamin Harrison, as ex-president, went to New York and had some business. And while he was there, he caught up with Mary Lord Harrison. And they slowly started to develop a courtship. And the next thing you know, a few years after, about 4 years or so after the passing of Caroline Scott, Benjamin Harrison decided to marry Caroline's niece. And it caused a big uproar in the family. Russell was actually not at the wedding. He also had a sister. I think the name was Mary. I could be wrong. It's not coming to me off the top of my head. It might have been another name. And so he did not attend the wedding along with, he was married, and I'm surprised I do not see a spouse here for him unless that she's someplace else. It caused a big uproar. And Benjamin Harrison basically said, look, she gives me comfort. I'm not lonely. It works. We're fine. And they actually did have a baby, Elizabeth. So technically a half-sister of Russell. And so he only lived 5 years after this marriage. He died in 1901. And Elizabeth essentially grew up without the father, but there is a couple of pictures of him with his daughter, etc. So it is what it is. I hope it was for him a good situation. I understand where it can cause some rifts. You're basically marrying somebody who's the same age as your children, and so that was a little bit of a thing. But they all got buried here. Perhaps that's something to do with Mary Lord Harrison being basically the survivor, at least as far as wives were concerned. So here we are, Benjamin Harrison's gravesite, and it's a little better than I expected, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting these to be over here. And then you have the monument, of course, to him. It could be more gaudy, bigger, but there's certainly worse, there's certainly better. I just did not realize, because I've never seen this, that these site graves were actually here. So may God bless them. all, and thank you for watching the video.